Hello, my name is Susie Coleman Archer. I am currently the Director of Strategic Process Enhancement at Vanderbilt University in Nashville, Tennessee. I was SACRAO President in the 2004, 2005 years, and I can tell you that it was a year that I shall always remember and treasure. As president that year, I had the very good fortune of working with an exemplary executive committee. That committee consisted of Carol Nobles as the president-elect. There was Shelby Stanfield, who was the past president. I had Patrice Mitchell, who was vice president for admissions. John Fletcher, who was vice president for records and registration. Dennis Dolniak was the VP for professional development. Carolyn Evans was my VP for professional access and equity. I had Sally Markello, who was the VP for information technology. Along with her, Amy Bissett was the VP for states and regional. Mary Kincannon was the secretary. David Christ was the treasurer. Brian Bradford and Cindy Ferrier were the members at large. And the irrepressible Dorinda Harmon was the local arrangements chair. This was a fun-loving, hard-working group. And those characteristics are ones that you'll see all of the time in SACRAO, that I've seen over the years. People will work very hard together to do the association's business, and then they will play very hard together. And that combination of hard work and fun is what makes SACRAO the unique association, regional association that it is today. As president, I had some very exciting events. Our annual meeting that year was held in lovely Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. The theme of the annual meeting was Carolina on My Mind. We had over 700 people in attendance that year and over 112 programs. We had a wonderful, wonderful experience when the goddess made her appearance. Those of you who were there will know what that is. The local arrangements chair appeared in a mermaid costume, riding in on a luggage carrier. It was quite interesting. As president, I visited 5 of the state associations: Kentucky, Tennessee, Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Virginia. And I must tell you that I was really impressed with the courtesy and hospitality that was shown in each of these states to the SACRAO president. Whether we were being thrown off of a mechanical bull in Virginia, dancing the night away in Florida, or doing karaoke in Oklahoma, I had a wonderful time visiting with them. Even managed to do a session, I believe it was, in Kentucky. So just wonderful visits. At this time, the relationship between SACRAO and ACRAO was very good, and it's not surprising given the fact that SACRAO supplied many of the presidents to ACRAO during this particular time. One kind of humorous event that I remember, and this occurred at the annual meeting in Myrtle Beach, the ACRAO president, who was always asked to give an update at SACRAO's opening session, had a long history of giving very long remarks and updates. And before the Myrtle Beach meeting, I asked very gently and very nicely if they would please condense their comments. And for the first time, the ACRAO update was a brief update, which I think everybody appreciated from that time forward. But it was a wonderful year in a lot of ways. The hot topics, the accomplishments, the highlights of my year as president. Well, we put registration online. People were able to pay their registration fees online. These were good things. The people working with the technology person had done a very good job of bringing those things to pass. And keep in mind that this is 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So the technology was not as slick as it is today, and it took some work to do that, but it was done. The SACRAO Journal was archived thanks to the work of Dennis Dolniak. Puerto Rico, the territory of Puerto Rico, became a member of SACRAO. It kind of redrew the map of SACRAO because you've got the southern states here, and then down at the bottom is a little entry for Puerto Rico. I, like many other SACRAOans, have been awaiting the conference that we will hold someday in Puerto Rico. With the rotation schedule, surely at some point we're going to rotate to Puerto Rico for a conference. So there were many things that occurred. I'm just touching the surface of them, but again, it was a wonderful year. From a purely personal perspective, the highlight of my year as president was the very special friendship, the very tight-knit bond that developed between Carol Nobles, Dorinda Harmon, and myself. We were bonded in a way that you dream of friendships being bonded, quite honestly. It was a professional alliance, but it was much more than that. And it transcended that year as president. We formed a bond that was so tight that other people could see it and often commented to us that, gee, you guys really work well together. But we shared a lot of things. We each loved SACRAO, and we called on each other's strengths, professionalism, on our skills, our knowledge, our expertise to help each other out. When one of us needed help with local arrangements, or was having a problem, they'd call and the other two would try to help. We just worked really well together. You know, sometimes friendships, true friendships, transcend the bonds of regular things. True friendship will go beyond time, it will go beyond distance, even death. Though the physical presence may no longer be there, the feelings of kinship, the joy, the memories of joy and laughter remain. So with that in mind, I would like to dedicate this video to my very good friend, Carol Nobles. Yayas, that's who we were. A word taken from the book by Rebecca Wells of the same name, a sisterhood of people who were very, very close. So to Carol, Yayas forever. And for SACRAO, looking toward the future, my wish for this wonderful organization is that it will change enough to remain relevant, because someone once said that the survival of any human institution is contingent upon its ability to change. So if we can change enough to remain relevant, to meet the needs of today's members, but at the same time, retain the core qualities of professionalism, cooperation, working together, fun-loving. If we can keep those things intact as we grow and change, the future of SACRAO looks bright. My year as president of SACRAO, again, the highlight of my career. And as I said in my closing remarks, as I was about to hand the gavel, the president, to Carol Nobles, was, I had the time of my life as president of SACRAO.